Today's meditation video is brought to you by the emotion anger. So the other day I'm feeling a bit raw. I'm on edge, and so I go to the park looking for a little peace and quiet, and there's this jazzy saxophone player there. And I want to throw this guy into the lake. Not because he's a bad person or a bad musician. I'm sure he's a very nice guy. But because I was experiencing several powerful emotions that were looking for an outlet. Any outlet. And in the past, I have misdirected emotions like anger and frustration towards other people, circumstances, and even towards myself. And even to admit that now makes me feel uncomfortable because most of us don't like to admit our shortcomings. And it's not always so easy when life holds up a mirror to our darker and more shadowy side. But we all have it. And it's part of who we are. So let's understand this. The anger wasn't generated by the sax player. See, my anger wasn't out there. The feeling was generated in here. It was my reaction that I directed towards him. And so recognizing that is key. See, not only is it unfair for us to project our emotions onto others, but it's also unfair for us to expect other people to read our minds and solve our problems for us. So, it puts the responsibility back on our shoulders. To own it. To own our baggage. Because when we stop to actually observe ourselves a little bit, we can actually learn a lot about ourselves. And one of the key things that I noticed is that anger is never the root emotion. And let me say that again. Anger is never the root emotion. See, when we peel back the layers of anger, rage, resentment, frustration, we usually find several other emotions that have been left unexpressed. Guilt, shame, sadness, loneliness, fear, regret. Does that sound familiar? Maybe not. If not, that's okay, because it turns out a lot of us have trouble expressing and accessing these emotions. And it can either make us feel really uncomfortable or frustrated, so we get angry. Sometimes that's because we've never been given the tools to express these emotions. Sometimes when we were kids, we weren't allowed to express these emotions, or we'd be punished. Sometimes the adults that raised us were victimized themselves and they never really dealt with their own issues. So it's not such a surprise that we had no one to model a healthy expression of these emotions. There's also a misperception about young boys and how they're able to express themselves emotionally or creatively, that somehow it makes them weak or less masculine. That and the combination of puberty, peer pressure, and this need to project an image of being strong and tough can be confusing and overwhelming. And the experiences that we have as kids have a profound effect on our adult psyche. So as adults, it can almost feel like there's something wrong with us if we feel a need to cry or express sadness. But these feelings are a sign for us to acknowledge so we can properly process these emotions. Because if we don't, we'll be subconsciously controlled by them. Or we'll just spend a lot of time numbing and distracting ourselves, as usual. Booze, drugs, porn, gambling, social media, whatever your flavor is. You see, anger can be a powerful teacher if we let it. When we take the time to uncover the feelings that are underneath, that are afraid to be expressed, we can learn about what we're really feeling. Maybe we feel hurt, disrespected, afraid, humiliated, unloved, or sad. And it might be really difficult to try to acknowledge this hurt. But if you can, try to express it. Talk to someone you trust. Write it in a journal. Connect with some sort of physical movement. Exercise, yoga, swimming, dance. Write a song about it. Whatever it takes to honor and express these emotions authentically. Because the truth is, deep inside, we want to be loved for who we truly are. So as you do this work, you'll come to realize that it takes bravery. It takes bravery to dare to be vulnerable, to bare your naked soul and to acknowledge this shared vulnerability that makes us all human. See, as we practice awareness, we start to become more sensitive to our own emotional needs and the needs of others. Through this process, we might begin to see ourselves in others. So when your spouse, kids, friends, family are struggling emotionally, can we see beyond their anger? Can we see past their pain, their fear, their loneliness? Can we see past their prickly exterior of protective armor and instead see their need to be loved and seen despite their flaws and imperfections? Can we truly see them and offer them the love and understanding that we all want? Might we learn to offer that love and understanding to ourselves so that we might deepen our collective compassion for each other? Because in the end, the only thing that really matters is how well we loved.